I'm just gonna summarize what I said.
Yeah.
For Isabel and for Clara. I had a dream, and the dream was about giving a talk as part of a whole big thing, a whole big celebration. And I won't go into the dream, but what it made me realize is that the conference workshop made me realize that people are so hungry for learning how to work with groups, and that's what we're teaching, as well as working with communities. But we've never said that a group is a small community. So I never spelled out that, so many focusers work with groups. But it's vaguer to say working with a community. But all of us work with communities, families, everything. I mean, mostly that's the world we live in, is more than two people. I mean, we're hardly ever just by ourselves or with one other person. I mean, sometimes, but anyway, so it made me realize that this was when I put on the recording, because I thought I wanted to share this with Isabel and Clara, that it feels to me like this is the moment to come out into the world at the same moment that everything is exploding and crazy, and the bike has flat tires and everything. But it seems like the right moment to start really formulating what it is that we're doing and thinking, and I thought that that a way of proceeding. I'm going to do a dialogue with Greg on Friday for the channel about his workshop and my workshop. But a way of proceeding would be to do a recorded dialogue, short, with each person in the group, asking what they learned about, right in the middle of this. And I think that would be a good time to gather in what have we learned. Maybe one thing that we learned was that if someone is triggered, that the action has to really stop, and we have to give attention to that. And it's very hard to do that because it's like a fast moving train. But anyway, that's speculation. So but I thought maybe in the group next time we could ask people what they've learned, or what we're right in the middle of this. What have we learned so far? What do we still need to learn? Or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so interesting. I think it might be quite different, from different people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also the kind of one of the main things of it, that it's so different for each person, because we all with our difference.
I think that would be lovely, Lynn. I mean, it really connects you from deep inside when you think about what is, developing in me? What am I struggling
Right,
with?
Yeah.
And what's
Yeah.
meaningful?
right, right.
I like that. Maybe we could do a attunement with that question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So you're thinking after Thanksgiving, or are you thinking before, next time?
next time. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe we could write to people ahead of time and make this suggestion that as a Thanksgiving, we can say in the in the States, I mean, everybody knows about Thanksgiving, but to acknowledge that this is a local holiday.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we need to be sure that we're not, just doing a spiritual bypass kind of thing, in the midst of pain and agony, saying to the person, what are you
Oh,
grateful for?
no, it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. You just have to make sure because that it could sound like that.
Well,
Everybody.
yeah. How about that we keep the element of struggle in there?
Mhm.
That it's not just a smooth, easy.
Right, right.
It's been very painful for everybody,
Yes. Right, right,
Mm.
right.
Mm.
I think.
I think the thing that I haven't learned yet, what um is um if you prevent uh that kind of uh discharge, uh if you stop the person and have some
Mhm.
breaths and all of that, what are you sacrificing? I mean, you
Mm.
might say, well, it wasn't worth it to
Mm.
have BJ so dysregulated and Jim so dysregulated. And Yoko, you were on the touch of um, being dysregulated, um, and other people too. It if there's this balancing of free speech, and I'm going to the broader level, and and preventing people from saying hurtful things that they may not mean in the pouring out, making pouring out. It's what did I say? It's that phrase that they have with addictions,
Hit
harm
the bottom.
reduction, harm reduction model of pouring out that isn't stopping the person. I think that's what Nancy would want, is for us to have more harm reduction.
And
But I don't know. Yeah, and Masumi, but I don't know. And a lot of people. But I don't know what you're sacrificing when you do that.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
Mm.
Maybe is it still then controlling people so that you're well-behaved society?
And look, we're not.
We're
I
not.
mean, we are anything but a well-behaved society. I don't know if you can control people.
Well,
but
we could in our group, and I think it's also, the larger issues about what should there, if there's hate stuff on YouTube, should that be allowed? And all of that kind of stuff. It's such a complicated
Yeah.
issue, and maybe
Yeah.
there's no answer.
maybe I
to it.
think I'm a little on the other side.
The harm reduction side.
Uh, what? Not with Masumi and was the Nancy so much. I mean, I'm not saying anything goes, but I feel an intimacy with both Jim and BJ, and a kind of like they've done something for us, painful, risky, but I think we're surviving, and I think BJ is. And I feel very connected to Jim. I think we all feel very connected to Jim. It's not like, oh, Jim is gone at all.
Mhm.
And, there is a fellow feeling that we have,
Mhm.
each of them, that I don't think, that's what I was trying to say when I spoke to BJ, that we saw something that's, boy, it's a little frightening in oneself as well as in them.
Mhm.
We've gone pretty far, and we need to take great care. But I think they've kind of shown something for us,
Mhm.
and shown us many things.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that wouldn't have happened if we'd say, no, stop.
Mhm.
And Jean talks a lot about pouring out and the good aspects of it in that, in his article, about how it's from the depths of a person, and they're showing something that is, well, it's kind of precious.
Mm. Yeah.
And
maybe
I
we
have
could
to
get-
understand that.
Maybe you could get those quotes for us.
In the paper,
Yeah. About
yeah,
that.
they're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Susan.
No, that's all. That's all. But it was on the edge.
Mhm.
Mm.
I was struck by BJ saying, when you said you wanted to say stop, BJ said she was so grateful for that. That's what she needed, was to hear stop.
Mhm.
And there is that too.
Yeah, there is.
Feeling out of control, and there is a need to have the parent, the community, be the strong
Yeah.
that says stop.
It's like the parent holding the kid,
Right,
the temper tantrum
right.
kid.
Yeah, and maybe there's even a need to that someone responds in any way to their pouring out, like either say stop
Mhm.
or say, oh, what do you
Yeah.
mean, what do you really mean by that, or just that part, could you say more of that, like and that is kind of asking for a pause, or and it's also letting the other person know that you hear them, that you're listening. And because I feel like if that's not there, then the person just is almost like will go on and on and on.
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
because they
Yeah.
because they can't stop, or they don't get the
Yes.
reflection, or
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I like that, Yoga, because you're not controlling the person as much as you are. If you say stop, you're relating to them and bringing them into relationship with which they've lost when they're, no.
I agree. I agree. But there is something about catharsis,
Yeah.
that people need to just get it out.
uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
often if they're in a dysregulated state, or if they're triggered, they don't even pay attention if you say, what do you mean by that? That's irrelevant. Because the
Intellect.
content,
Right.
in a way,
Yeah.
the content isn't important. What's
Mm.
important is the bodily feeling, and it's not conceptual. Like Yoko, when you were pouring out at the beginning with Rosa, it wasn't really the content that Rosa had suggested, the thing she suggested. It was just a whole feeling of being controlled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And that's true. Part of me just wanted to, needed that time to go on and on and on. And,
Did you feel safe?
did I feel
Did
safe?
you feel safe?
Did I feel safe?
Yeah.
I guess in some way I did. And I also felt very strong, very energetic, strong.
Yes. Yeah. Last week also, you were saying it's my turn to pour out. That was a feeling of taking your power back. You're not going to just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's then a little bit also the thing with, like, what happened with BJ last week. I mean, like in a group, like somebody could do that the whole 2 hours, right?
Oh boy.
And that's our meeting. And then what about the other people in the group? Or, or I mean, do you put or that's the same thing. Do you put some kind of limit or something? Or how did you call it, Lynn? Some kind of I don't know, I forgot the word.
A kind of a stop. I mean, in the larger sense, there needs to be a stop of there needs to be some kind of a container in order for it to be safe. I had a client whose father beat her, and then she would beat her child, and she was so distressed about it, but it was like she would lose it and she would just swat her child. And she needed the father, her father needed containment. And often that, very often that happens in families. And then that goes from generation to generation. So there has to be some kind of a stop. But maybe you can't make rules about it, or maybe you can. I don't know. That's a big question. I think maybe after a time when the person has said basically what they want, then there needs to be an interruption, which could be you know, wait, I'm catching up with you, or whatever it is, but it has to be a strong engagement. And I have found that in my therapy work, that that there needs to be a meeting, some kind of meeting, if someone is really out of control.
Yeah, because the person also, if there's no meeting, the person will also feel very lonely in a way, right?
How did you feel last week? I think that we did stop you, Yoka. I have to watch the video. I don't remember how that.
You stopped me.
Did we? What happened? I'm trying. Maybe you'll remember, Susan.
Or no, I don't remember. I remember Yoga using certain words that were sort of that's what tuned me in. And
Judgmental.
What kind of words?
oh, I don't know. It also sparked me because I felt in a milder way what you felt.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, I think the fire engine words there were, I can't stand it,
Oh yes,
right?
can't stand it. Yeah.
That needed to be reflected. I don't know if we did.
I feel like I feel like you did somehow. I don't remember how or when or what, but I do feel like
It was
yeah, that I was acknowledged, and that my going away, and then oh yeah, then you said, Lynn, Yoka, are you ready to come back or something like that? And so that, and I was gonna come back, but you're saying that was like, acknowledging that I had to go away, and will come back or something.
Oh, when you left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had your own stop. You put that on yourself, the going away.
Mm.
You were
Well,
regular.
I was shaking. I
Yeah.
was so that, so I also, yeah, I needed my own stuff, but I also I did not want to break down in front of the group, or have it getting worse in front of the group, and the group, I didn't want to, I wanted to keep that for myself a little bit too.
Mhm.
maybe it's like Gene said, with a twinkle in his eye, there's two kinds of people, the blue-eyed people and the brown-eyed people, and the blue-eyed people have trouble getting in touch with their feelings, and the brown-eyed people have trouble containing their feelings. So, some people have too much stop in them, and other people don't have enough stop in them,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, and that's already like, that could clash sometimes.
Yes, yes. Yeah. What are you thinking, Susan? You have this.
Oh, I was thinking of finding a language for talking about it too, with each other. And that's bringing it into the light. And, as opposed to, I don't know, just this massive darkness. That's what I was thinking. How talking about it, is finding words for or thoughts about it, like too much. Some people have too much, some people not enough, and you're trying to find the right balance. And it's different at different times, different people. And I think you want to be able to keep that flexibility,
Mhm.
and too many rules about you
Right.
don't put the finger and you don't this, and make a person stiff.
Right, right, right. Yeah, well said.
Mm.
That it's a dance. It isn't, it's not the army or something.
Yeah. The army.
And it's not, I think an important distinction is that the too much and the too little is in the context of that interaction. So what I am a blue-eyed person. So too much for me might be just the right amount for somebody else. And I, you know, have to take that into account.
Mhm.
So I've been majorly with two partners in my life. The first one was a brown-eyed person. She was very, very fiery and emotional, and she was so frustrated with me for not expressing more feeling. And one time she even in those days they had rolfing, where they would put their hands in your mouth and they would manipulate certain things in your mouth to get you to express emotion. And she was putting her hand in my mouth so that I would cry about something. I don't remember what it was. I said, so in relation to her, I felt like I was too little,
Mhm.
and that she was too much. I felt like she was too much.
Mm.
And then with Ellen is very contained, and I feel like I'm the emotional one with her, and I'll say, but what do you feel about this? You know, give me a feeling.
That's so interesting. Wow. Wow.
So it's not that there's this right amount that
Mm.
everybody should be.
Mm.
Mhm.
I'm in my class tomorrow, the therapy class. I'm teaching from the demo of Jean's called A Not Nice Place. And have the two of you seen that demo?
Yeah. So yeah.
It's very, very interesting when you I'm teaching it in terms of finding the third way, that and holding on, between holding on and letting go. That Jean is demonstrating this thirdness, that whenever you get to the either or, you're stuck, and you have to find this third way. And I think that's very helpful for therapists, for everybody. But in this one about the not nice place, she is very, very angry at her husband, and then dumps on him, and she doesn't know what to do about it. And Jean is helping her to find her her strength to find this third way. And it's very maybe I'll send it to the group, because it would be very interesting for us to look at that, in terms of our own process.
Yeah. Sounds very relevant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I wish I'd like to see it again. I have
Well,
only a
I'll send
Yeah.
it.
good memory of it.
Yeah, it's always different too.
Mhm.
Yes,
When you change yourself, then it's different.
right, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I never saw it that way before. That he's really demonstrating working with conflict.
Hmm. Oh, I was wondering about next week, like when we ask people to think about it and say something about it, about you know
We've learned.
what we learned in the middle of all this.
Hmm.
So there will be people who won't be coming, and so I was wondering if we could ask them or suggest they could make a little recording of themselves or something, um, or write it up. But I kind of like the idea of people could even speak it in or something. So there's the voice. And then we can add that on to the recording of the class.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good. Well, I
Not
thought
really.
I had thought that it would be very good um to have recorded uh dialogues with people or interviews with people
Yeah.
about so far.
About
So
what?
what we've learned so
Mhm.
far that would be that we could make public or see, little part of it. Uh, but maybe
Right.
it would be a good idea to see who can't come and for us to divide those people up and just do a little ask them on Zoom.
Hmm.
Do are we up to that?
Um,
Might be
yeah,
hard
that's
to
another
come
thing.
together. Don't you think it's hard to get people together?
Well, let's say that there are 3 people that can't come because of Thanksgiving. It would just be like making a partnership.
Or those three people can meet the next week together and say with a small group and so they're also in a group like next week and then talk together.
They have Marvin's group on the alternate.
Oh,
It's harder to have people
yeah.
more people get together. But I was just thinking that people are intimidated by making a video of themselves. But if
Yeah.
is asking them,
Mm,
then uh, and
yeah.
that might be the beginning of our asking everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea.
Susan is intimidated by the technology. I can see it in her eyes.
Also, this is not the kind of thing I like, because there's something artificial
Uh-huh.
about it, as opposed to when the whole group is, it's
Mhm.
coming out of listening to everybody.
True. It's very different that way. Yeah.
Well, what we can,
Ever, I mean, I'm game to try it. Why
well,
not?
I'm going to turn the recording off. But what we can do is to say we hope everybody can come, and if they can't come, could they write us an email or or
Mm-hmm.
report something, or uh, be ask that question by one of the people in the team or anybody else who's willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should wait for the interview because it could be difficult, and we may need that that time to attend to it in the group before. I was just thinking that, BJ won't be able to come, and then doing an interview with her might, of what she's learned, might be premature.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't like, it's sort of pushing something we might not be ready as individuals. But I
Yeah.
think we could have a group conversation
Yes. I
about that's different from,
Right.
you have to have, think, what does this mean to
Right.
me? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, I think we can invite people to email us or communicate with us about what they've learned in whatever the way they want if they can't come next week. And they'll do it. It's just an invitation.
So we'll just no interviewing and separate.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that after.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have that on our agenda and see when we're ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I will see you next Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah. I'll send this recording to our team. Okay.
I was
Thank
wondering
you.
Or
that
not.
that part that Susan said, I wondered if we could make a clip of it and send it to the whole group. If you'd be willing, Susan, or you would say,
What part are you referring
you
to?
were saying that you felt closer to Jim and BJ and all of us
Oh,
connected.
okay.
Do you have time today, Yoka, to make a little clip of that part and
Yeah, I can do that.
and send it to us, and then you could see, Susan, if you feel okay about sending that.
For the
Okay.
group, I mean, yeah, probably. I probably do, but that would be, I'd like to see it first.
Oh
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anything that Yoka that you said that you want to send to the group, or anything I said that I don't know if I'll have time to look, but
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So Yoka, you'll send us this and a clip of Susan and I'll and send the group between holding on and letting go. No,
Okay.
I'll do that. I find because that's right on my
Okay.
playing with that. I'll send that and
Okay.
seeing if people want to do something about what we've learned so far.
Okay. All right.
And the video that you mentioned
Yeah.
about third.
I'll send that. I'll send that to people.
Yeah. Is that the same? A not nice place in between holding on and letting go? Are
Oh
those
yeah,
two-
no, I'm sorry. I said the wrong thing. It's a not nice place.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Nice place.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the title.
A not nice place. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Are we all set? Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Bye.